All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Daniel Jesse. I'm your favorite high school substitute teacher. Today we are talking about why is modern music awful? What must change? Why is modern music awful and what must change? All right, so let's get into it. First things first is auto-tune. Ever since the invention of auto-tune back in the probably the late 1990s, I think is when auto-tune was first invented with Cher and Do You Believe in Love? You could fact check me in the comments section if I got the late 1990s incorrect on that. But ever since the invention of auto-tune, that spelled the demise of current modern, or I mean, spelled the demise of let's call it timeless music, music that will stand the test of time. Auto-tune, I think, in my opinion, began that trend. So thanks auto-tune for that. And actually, it was a mathematician, a non-musician, that actually invented auto-tune. So there's that. And right along with auto-tune is the ability to replace drums with sampled triggers, so that basically what you're hearing on a lot of these drum tracks in these songs are not the actual drummer. The actual drummer may have played the notes, I guess you could say, but the studio went in post-production and replaced all of the drum hits with pre-recorded drum samples, so that every drum strike is absolutely perfect. The attack on it is absolutely perfect. There's no variations of velocity of hit on the drum or anything like that. So yeah, replacing drum tracks with perfect drum strikes, perfectly sampled hits and everything, that's right up there with auto-tune. And that just spelled the beginning of the end. Next, we have everything in modern music is snapped to the grid. That it's all just perfectly aligned, perfectly in time with a click track metronome. You know, it's absolutely perfectly snapped to a mathematical grid in the digital production studio, usually Pro Tools or Reaper or something to that effect. But basically snapped to the grid is the industry parlance now for basically sterile perfection. And that's not what music is. Music is not sterile perfection. Music is feelings. Music is playing from your heart. Music is drawing out emotions, not sterile perfection. But here we are. Anyway, moving on. Timeless classics are that way because they aren't perfect. There's a human feel. So if you look at all of the classics we consider timeless, you know, you got your Led Zeppelins, you got your Pink Floyds, you got Van Halen, you have, basically any rock band from, the Beatles, from the 60s, or hell, even further. So Elvis, whenever rock and roll was invented, the Big Bopper, you got Buddy Holly, you got all these people in the history of music, that created all these timeless classics. They were just recording on analog tape. They weren't playing to any kind of click track or any kind of metronome or anything like that. It was just them playing in the studio and capturing a live experience in the studio. That's what it was. So for that reason, that's what makes their music timeless classics. It's because you can feel that heart and soul that they put out in the studio on the recording. There's no, stacking tracks and, starting with the drum track, then put on the bass track, then put on the guitar track, then put on the vocal track, and then put in the solos, and how music today is just built, one track on top of another track. It's super sterile, super, let's just call it inhumane, in that you cannot feel the humanity being portrayed across in the recording. So that's where we're at today with it. Timeless music has lyrics and themes that draw out an emotion. That the whole reason is to draw out people's emotions, to be able to make them have some sort of an experience, whether it be, a happy emotion, a sad emotion, an angry emotion, any kind of emotion. That's what music is intended. That's what art, any kind of art form, is intended to bring out some kind of an emotion from its experience, or whoever's experiencing that art form. The goal is to bring out an emotion. We've all had the experience where music is essentially a time machine, where say we haven't heard a particular song for a very long time. This particular song comes on, we hear the song, and immediately it brings us right back to 25 years ago, when that song was important in our lives. The sounds, the smells, all the feels come rushing back because that song triggered it in our brain. That's what timeless music does, is it acts as a time machine and brings us back to times that were poignant in all of our lives. And I have a really hard time thinking or feeling that modern music is going to have the same effect on humanity in the next 50 years or so. I could be wrong, but that's just my take, is it probably won't. I don't think you're going to be having too many people doing covers of about 95% of the modern music that's created today. In the next 50 years, you're not going to be hearing people covering those tunes. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think the timeless music of decades gone past will continue to stay timeless, and people will continue performing covers of those songs because of their timelessness and the effect that they have on the human psyche and the human soul. I think that will still be a thing. Recording live. All right, so how could we fix this? What could be done about the modern music today? How could we fix modern music? My first and main solution to this is recording live off a studio floor. So the Foo Fighters are one of the first bands that popped to my mind that are famous for doing this, where they will record live off of a studio floor, and they'll record actually to 2-inch tape. They record old school analog on the 2-inch tape live off the studio floor. So going back to basics is doing that, getting the entire band experience, capturing the experience of that band off the studio floor. You can pick up on different nuances and subtleties in the music that were not present or cannot be present if you're building it track on track on track on track. That's just, I don't think it's possible to pick up the soulfulness of music if it's done in a sterile track on track environment. So live off the studio floor is what it has to be. You go back to listening old Led Zeppelin records, and you can hear John Bonham's bass drum pedal squeaking in the track. I mean, that's how real that is. I mean, they didn't go back and edit that out. You can still hear squeaking bass pedals on certain tracks in Led Zeppelin's music. I mean, that's where the humanity and the feel comes. That's just all part of the feels. They're not perfectly in time. The timing varies. There's little fluctuations in the timing of the music and everything that's all part of the human aspect, the human feel of the music. That's what makes it endearing to us as humans, is inherently we pick up on that and we appreciate the soulfulness and the human nature of those tracks doing that. Then finally, now that we've experienced perfection, I think that the new trend is going to be going towards imperfection. That I think everybody as a whole in general are tired of perfect music. It's just, like I said, it's soulless music. Perfection is not what drives us. We want to hear the soul in the music. We're going to be driven more towards soulful music, imperfect music, music that was recorded live as a band off of a studio floor, so that we could hear the soul of the band, hear the imperfections, hear the nuances, and the interactions with the different band members. I think that's going to be the way, the new trend that modern music is going to go towards, is live, very unadulterated, very undoctored music. I think is going to be the next trend that's going to be a big thing. You know, because ultimately it comes down that people want to feel something when they listen to music. That's the reason why they listen to music. They want it to extract a feeling out of them. And only with keeping it real, keeping it live, that's the only way that those feelings are going to be extracted out of people to be able to experience what we've lost. So that's what I got to say about how to fix modern music and what can be done about it. Like I said, my name's Daniel Jesse. If you like this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out my links below for the books that I've written, for the t-shirt and merch that I sell. Click on those links down there. It's been awesome talking to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Blah. I'm going to edit that out.